Take a sip.
Hi guys, welcome to Take a Sip, the podcast where I sip the tea while spilling the tea. And today, as you can see, I actually am doing a solo episode just because I wanted to close out 2020 and I wanted to close out season 1 of Take a Sip, kind of just like you and me, us, like just having a regular conversation like we're besties. But I really hope everyone had a great Christmas, great Hanukkah, great Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I really hope it was amazing. And shout out to Alyssa because she got me this really dope reusable cup and it has my name on the side. It's this really, really pretty like lavender color. I'm obsessed. And I'm just drinking some good old H2O today. I just had way too much sugar for Christmas and this weekend that I figured some good old water might be good for me today. So nothing crazy. But I am excited for today's episode because like I want to talk about goals and, you know, reflect on 2020 and everything like that. Because I think 2020 has definitely been the craziest year. Like I just simply can't imagine another year ever topping this. And like there's always that running joke where like each month progressively got worse as the year went on. I mean, we had the Australian fires, we had Kobe Bryant's death, we had the murder hornets. Like just every month you were like, oh, it can't get any worse than this. And it got worse. So I think it's time that we take a minute to reflect on what 2020 even was. Like, not sure what this year was, but reflect on it, make goals for 2021 and, you know, enter with just a completely fresh mindset and everything like that. And actually, if you are one that's just like not a big fan of goals and not a big fan of resolutions, I think you should maybe try writing down a resolution, try writing down a goal or something. Because last year I was the same way. And my brother told me that like the best way to move up is to set goals for yourself, even if it's small little goals. And one of the main reasons why I hated setting goals was because I felt like in schools we would learn about SMART goals and how if your goal didn't fit this specific criteria, then it wasn't a good goal and you'll never achieve it and things like that. And I hated that. I hated how my goal had to like fit in with like a 5-letter acronym. Like it had to be measurable, attainable, all those like things. And so I never set goals because I was like, this is dumb. But then I started just setting random goals. And along the way, you'll learn like, okay, is this attainable? Is this measurable? Stuff like that. But even though this year has been kind of crazy, I think that we all have to acknowledge the silver linings. I mean, if, you know, coronavirus hadn't happened, I would not be sitting down here with my podcast and I wouldn't have, you know, had the time to work on myself and work on my brand and everything like that. So you definitely want to be thankful that you had this experience in this time because like, I mean, I'm not going to say this will probably never happen again because you never know. I mean, no one predicted this was going to happen in the first place. But like I said, like if 2020 is this crazy, I can't imagine what 2021 has in store. Let's just hope and pray that it's a little more normal. But yeah, here are some goals that I have for specifically Take a Sip. And then next week I'll be discussing with a special guest you guys all know and love. We'll be talking about some goals I have for myself. But the first one that I have is to don't equate numbers to success. And I think this is a really big one, especially for me. So y'all know that like, I mean, even if you go on like my YouTube channel, you'll see that my first ever podcast that I released, and even like when I was looking at stats on Apple Podcasts and Spotify of like how many listeners and downloads that I got, that number was a lot bigger than what I could have ever imagined or expected. But then I kind of thought, well, when you first come out with something, everybody just wants to go check it out. They want to go dip their toes in the water. They want to go see what it's all about. But it's like, how many of those people are going to actually stick around? And, you know, when I saw that number at first, because like the number of listeners / viewers that I got in the first episode was way more than the amount of followers that I had on Instagram. Way more. Like most of my subscribers that are subscribed to my YouTube channel now, I think I have like 17 subscribers, came from the very first episode that I posted. And like I was geeked. Like I was so excited. And then when I saw my numbers drastically drop, the second episode, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? But it's not what I was doing wrong. It's just the people that stuck around. And like, I don't want my success to be like determined by some numbers. Like, obviously there's a big difference between like looking at your stats to see what you can improve upon versus looking at your stats and completely equating that to, oh, like people don't like me because I'm not getting views. Like, obviously it's a slow process of growing. And my brother had to sit me down and tell me that. He was like, yo, like you gotta relax. Like, don't be consumed with these numbers. And that's not my intention at all. Like, I don't want to sit down, look at my numbers and be like, oh, I gotta do this and this and this to get more views. Like, I still want to be able to grow and things like that, but on my terms, which kind of leads me into my next goal. I definitely want to be more active on social media. I've been trying to be as active as I can on Instagram, but like, y'all, it's hard. Like, it's not easy to consistently post. And like, boy, have I gained respect for all these social media influencers out there who can like post Vlogmas daily while being active on their Instagram, on their Snapchat, on their Twitter. Like, it's not easy. And I definitely want to interact with you guys more because like, I want to let y'all know that I appreciate it. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your little comments that you guys leave me. Like, y'all don't know how excited I get over those. Like, they may seem like little things, but I get excited. But yeah, I want to interact more with you guys. And like, the thing with Take a Sip as a whole is like, first of all, I just want to say, thank you for 100 followers on my Instagram account. I posted this whole post thanking you, but I wanted to say personally on the podcast, thank you so much. And second of all, like, I like never really thought that I would be in this position now. And I think a big part of that is because I recently started being way more active on my Instagram. Like, because like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like with bigger celebrities and stuff like that, like, or even smaller ones for that matter, like they don't really interact with their fans that much. Like, I don't really know if y'all have seen that or noticed that, but they're even like TikTokers, they won't really interact with their fans. And sometimes you're like, dang, like they could at least like go live here and there, maybe post some polls, answer to comments and stuff like that. And I want to interact as much as possible with you guys because like, as cliche as it sounds, you guys are the reason why I'm doing this. You guys are the reason why I'm here. And I like talking to you guys. You guys are cool. I sound like I'm like this big influencer. No, but for real, guys, I love seeing your comments, your DMs and everything like that. It makes my whole day. And also like, this is a little bit of like a smaller goal for myself, but I want to try some new drinks. Like, I've basically gone to Starbucks and Dunkin' since the start of the podcast. Like, I have not gone anywhere else. And there are more local coffee shops that I want to try and like different drinks. Like, it doesn't always have to be like from a coffee shop. Maybe I can try like a smoothie. Like, this is so little, but oops, sorry guys, I hit the mic. But this is so little, but I still want to like try it. And like, those are just some of my goals for Take a Sip as a whole. And like I said, there's smaller goals and there's some bigger goals, but hey, goals are goals. And that's all that matters, y'all. So how 2020 changed me. I am so excited to talk about this because I literally need to tell you guys something that is so crazy. But last year, and I'll talk about this more definitely next week in next week's episode. But last year, I did not have very many friends. I honestly still don't. My circle is pretty small. And I'm totally okay with that. Like, I'm not mad about it. I love all my friends. I don't need a big circle to be happy. But last year, I didn't know that about myself. I thought that, like, in order for me to be happy, like, I had to have a lot of friends. And I needed to have people around me constantly. And unfortunately, I relied on them for my happiness. And, like, if I wasn't really hanging out with my friends or if I wasn't, like, seeing them and stuff, I would, like, not be in the best mood, which is so sad to say. And this year, like, when we were in lockdown, let me tell you, I was forced to be by myself for a while because even though I loved being in my room, I was on my phone the whole time. I was watching TV. I wasn't doing anything that like was working really on me. Like, I was doing nothing to benefit myself. And so when the pandemic hit, watching TV, going on TikTok, that all got old. That's when I really started like journaling. Like I started journaling for real this year. I started like thinking about things I could do. Obviously, I got the podcast going, and with that, I've grown to like know that I can be independently happy by myself. And I think that is so important, that you're not like constantly relying on other people to make you happy, because regardless of if you're in like a friendship or a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, like their job is not to make you happy. Their job is to make you happier. And like, if you're expecting them to give you happiness, you gotta leave, because you gotta work on yourself, make yourself happy, find your happiness, and then get together and make each other even happier. Like, that's kind of what a relationship is all about. It's not, hey, I'm sad, you my friends are here, they're gonna make me happy. That's not how it works, and it never works out that way. And 2020 really like gave me a slap in the face and was like, here, take what you will with this information and work on yourself. And I did. I really did. And I'm really glad that, again, like another silver lining to the pandemic, I'm glad that I was able to really find myself and just like work on myself, because it's crazy. And another thing with 2020 is that I was able to really put myself out there. I say this a million times, but I had a YouTube channel when I was in middle school, and like there was one other girl who had a YouTube channel, and like every day when I would go to school, I would be so scared to like people to be like, oh, I watched your YouTube video, I liked it. Like, I hated when people said that. If you can find me one person who hated when they got like not recognized, but when they got complimented on something, let me know, because I know I hated when people would come up to me. Like, I was like, please don't let anyone come up to me, because I was embarrassed. Like, I was literally embarrassed of posting, and I was embarrassed. Like, I was just like scared and whatever. And like now, if somebody were to comment or come up to me and be like, hey, I listen to your podcast, I might squeal, I might scream, I might like shed a tear or two. Like, it's weird, because like there's a big difference between putting yourself out there because you want to, and putting yourself out there because you feel like you have to. And thank goodness that I'm past the point where I kind of get that like anxiety of like posting and stuff like that. And I know that still happens to a lot of people, but I'm glad that like I kind of got through it in middle school, because now if someone came up to me in public and asked for a picture, like right now, I literally would cry and I would like I wouldn't hug them, but like I would like cry, and if Corona wasn't a thing, I would hug them and stuff like that. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you know, it's crazy. Like, y'all, this is the last episode of season 1. I've kind of decided that I'm going to, each year is just going to be a new season. And since 2020 is over, season 1, 5 episodes, that's how it's going to be, because I started in November. But I'm really looking forward to season 2. New topics, new guests, more tea being spilled, more YouTube videos. I'm going to try to start posting more on IGTV, because it seems that more of my followers prefer IGTV. I'm going to do a poll though, just to see, because I'm curious, because it seemed like a lot of my followers watch IGTV over YouTube, but I'm perfectly fine posting to both. But yeah, the last thing that I want to say, guys, is like, thank you so much for sticking around and for listening in and watching my videos and supporting me. Like, I know that like everyone says this, but when you repost my Take a Sip Instagram, when you comment, when you DM me, when you just tell me, hey, I love your podcast, like, it means so much to me. So thank you so much. I'm consistently working hard. I want to make this podcast even better. So stay tuned for season 2. I am so excited for it. I know you guys are going to love it too. So thank you. And also feel free to let me know what goals you have set for 2021. And next week, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my New Year's resolutions, specifically for me, and not just like Take a Sip in general, but just like my own and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just so excited. But yeah, Happy New Year, guys. I will be sipping into 2021, hence the title of this episode. But thank you guys so much for being such an amazing like family to me and everything like that. And I will see you guys next year. And I know you guys were waiting for me to say that, because I had to say that. But I'll see you guys in 2021. Thanks for watching this episode of Take a Sip, and don't forget, keep sipping.